Hey, BSHL fans, and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. The stage is set for the 2024-2025 playoffs. In first place, we have the Bucktooth JCs. In second place, Dalhousie Marauders. Third, the Elsipogtog Hawks. Fourth, the Miramichi Northmen. Fifth, the Amherst Ducks. And sixth, Le Corsaire de Péninsule-Acadienne. Now here's your hosts, the Corys, with all your playoff updates.
Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
Hi.
Thank you to Adam Story for that great intro. Man, as he mentioned, the playoff matchups are set.
Yep.
Corey?
He sent me that yesterday too, and then followed with wrong Corey.
Oh, there you go. That's okay. I'm glad he sent it to you and you heard it. I like it. It's a good intro. Oh man, I'm excited. I don't know. It's been the season passed quickly.
It did. We still have the season to go.
Yeah, that's literally is what it feels like. So we'll know who the champion in this league is in a little over 2 months, which kind of crazy, but there's a lot of work from here to there. Do you want to get into the weekend before we get into anything else, Corey?
Absolutely. On Friday, the Amherst Ducks, they beat the Elsipogtog Hawks 4-1. Rene George from the Ducks with 2 goals. Jeremiah Martin with 1 goal, and Denver Lions with 1 goal. The sole goal from Elsipogtog is Alex Arsenault.
Is this a case of Amherst wanting it more? I mean, do you think, or did the Hawks just not want this win? I mean, let's talk on unpopular opinion, but
if you want my personal opinion, did the Hawks go there without the intention of leaving with a win? Probably.
They started Adam Carruthers in net.
Yeah.
Who has 0 starts this year. I don't know. I'm not saying that they went there to lose. I'm just saying that they're not heartbroken having lost.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they wanted to play the Ducks.
It comes back to I don't think anybody wanted to play. Is it the Ducks or is it Matt Welsh?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to play Matt Welsh. Matt
Welsh, that game against the Hawks in LC is a case of, that song, This Is How Legends Are Made. You could watch a highlight package of Matt Welsh in that game and have that song playing in the background.
I agree with you completely. I do think that people are underselling the skill on the Ducks. I think there's, especially at home, when they've got their full roster, and you got to hope that they're going to have more of a full roster on the road here in the playoffs. That's a tough team, man. There's a lot of talent there. So,
when we were in Miramichi for this game, and you showed me the 2 goals by Rene George, and you were almost marking out at it, and you're like, it's the same shot, it's the same wrister, looks identical, but he fools him both times.
That's a great shot.
I think you watched it like 3 or 4 times, both of them, just in awe of this wrister.
It's a nice shot, man. It's a nice goal.
It is.
Big win for the Ducks here.
Yep.
This win secured the Ducks 5th place in the
league. We'll get into the reasons and all that, why Miramichi finished in 4th and all that, but let's get into Miramichi versus the Peninsula, their first game of the weekend, while Maggie barks a storm in the background.
Yep.
Miramichi beat the Peninsula 6-2. Goal scorers: Bryce Milson with 2 goals, 3 points. Brendan Milson with 1 goal, 3 points. Grant Donovan with 3 assists. Kennedy Gallant with 1 goal. John Hardy, 1 goal. And Will Irvine with 1 goal from the Peninsula. Kelsey Tessier with 1 goal. Lucien Carlsonnier with 1 goal. And David Marcotte with 2 assists.
Big game for the Northmen. They dominated early. Just straight up, they dominated. Heck of a game by Grant Donovan. Doing all the little things, hitting, just playing a good, just solid game. Bryce Milson, I mean, we'll get into the next game before we talk about it, but Bryce Milson, amazing season. Second in points in the league. Always been a solid player, but really had a breakout year this year.
He did. You asked me while we were in Miramichi, who's your favorite player? Because my favorite player from each team can change any week. At one point this season, Josh Russell really impressed me. My favorite player in Miramichi this season has been Bryce Milson. Like you said, breakout year for him. Super nice guy. We interviewed him once. He couple more points and he could have made it interesting with who finished first with points, Pascal Valcourt.
I agree. I think that was a heck of a year by Milson. If he stays healthy and he keeps up this pace, the Northmen are not someone you want to mess with in the playoffs, that's for sure.
No, absolutely.
Let's get to Sunday.
Which game you want to start with?
Might as well start with the Peninsula and Miramichi. I mean,
all right. So a little closer game. This was in the Peninsula. Miramichi beat the Peninsula 6-5. Goal scorers: Grant Donovan, once again with 2 goals, 3 points. Bryce Milson with 2 goals. Denver Dunfield with 1 goal. Jeff Wilson, 1 goal. Alex Bernier, 2 assists. John Hardy, 2 assists. And Josh Russell, 2 assists. From the Peninsula, Jean-Samuel Lagacé with 2 goals. Joël Blanchard with 1 goal, 2 points. Benji Curtis, 1 goal, 2 points. And Tommy Bezzo, 3 assists. Getting pretty good at that, aren't I?
That was pretty smooth. Another big win for Lontang for Miramichi, got the start. But another big win for Miramichi. Going into this weekend, we knew that Miramichi was going to finish 4th or 5th. They could not finish in 3rd, and it was very unlikely that they would finish 5th. So we knew that they would be 4th. I don't even know if it was possible to finish 5th, but anyway, we knew they'd finish 4th, especially after they got that win on Friday, kind of settled everything. We knew they couldn't finish 3rd because the first tiebreaker is wins. Corey, how do you feel about the tiebreakers and the way that it's done with the league?
I saw that there were some Miramichi fans talking about this, that they had a problem with it. Our good friend Mark McGraw was like, in the NHL, it's regulation wins, or how did he? Yeah,
it's regulation wins tiebreaker.
So, me personally, I think the BSHL got it right. The Hawks have one more win than Miramichi, so to me, the Hawks deserve number 3. I get their point, but if you're going with the matches between the Hawks and Miramichi, it was 2-2. Like, a win's a win.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't mind the way that it's done. It's very clear before the season starts that that's what it's going to be. So for that reason, I don't really have an issue with it. But I understand the argument the other way as well. And I think, as a Miramichi fan, I'd be nervous to be facing the Ducks.
That's what I was going to say too.
No offense to anybody in Miramichi. It's just, I think, and no offense to anybody in the Peninsula either. I just think when you look at those teams that have had those runs in the playoffs in the NHL and in other leagues, you ride that goalie, and Welsh is the kind of goalie that you could ride to win a playoff series or 2 or maybe a cup. You never know.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I think to me, we not argument, but we've had some discussions today on, I don't want to spoil anything, but on some things that concern points and this and that.
It's not easy to come up with players of the season or team of the season. Yeah. We're going to have varying viewpoints. I'll tell you that when we do players of the season, we ask multiple people. We talk to the podcast crew. We take everything into account, and we talk about it a lot. It's not just something done without thought. We discuss it. We bring pros and cons. And sometimes our opinions get changed.
Mine got changed big time. But to me, one of the things for me is you have, it's not all about points, but you have to have that in consideration because they worked hard for those points,
It's a combination of the overall player. How important was he for his team? How important was he in his position? Is he a big part of the reason his team won some games? Points matter. Points definitely matter. Wins matter.
Absolutely.
Wins matter. Your team's placement at the end of the year matters. How the points were distributed across the team matters. There's so many things that we take into account for things like this. But yeah, we've got our team of the season, which will be released later tonight, Monday night. It'll be up by the time you hear this podcast. So, go check that out on our Facebook page. We'll talk about it a little later.
Mm-hmm.
Probably talk about it on Thursday. I assume we'll talk about it on the Thursday episode. Corey, you're zoned out right now.
I am. I was lost in your voice.
We got Dalhousie at Bucktouche.
Yes, we do. So the Bucktouche JCs remain undefeated at home as they beat the Dalhousie Marauders 6-3. Goal scorers Matthew Newcomb with 1 goal, 3 points. Malcolm Arsenault with 4 assists. Patrice Cormier, 1 goal, 3 points. Alex Savoie, 1 goal, 2 points. Pierre-Alexandre Parenteau, 1 goal. Alexis Guitar with 1 goal. From Dalhousie, Alex Blais with 1 goal, 2 points. Logan Toole, 1 goal. Brendan Parsons with 1 goal. And Francis Thibault, 2 assists.
I couldn't have been more happy with how competitive and hard-hitting and aggressive this game was.
If there was one thing that you could have changed about this game, what would it be?
The reffing.
we read each other's mind.
The reffing was awful.
Oh my
God. There was a high stick on a Dalhousie player by Parenteau. He was bleeding. They called it 2. I was like, what is going on here? I don't know. And then there was just a few things like that were very confusing to me. I think there was the end of the period where Joey Bernard gave a smack to Pierre Parenteau, and then Patrice Cormier came to Parenteau's defense. They took Parenteau. I felt like maybe they probably should have taken Parenteau and Bernard for that one. But a lot of little things this game. The reffing was, the reffing was as bad as it can get.
Yeah. There's a miss too many men call against Bucktouche.
Yeah.
Where all 4 referees are just looking. And we had some Dalhousie fans around us. If you listen to the stream, you thought you saw a car accident. They're like, too many. They're screaming their heads off. And, it is what it is. You get what you pay for, I guess.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know, man. Sometimes the reffing in this league can be dog shit. Yeah. I've been to games in Trackety. I've seen it. I've been to games in Rishabukto. I've seen it. Amherst seems to have pretty decent reffing normally.
Yeah.
The Nova Scotia refs historically for me have been probably some of the better refs in the league.
I'd agree with that.
I don't know, man. And sometimes you go to a game somewhere and be like, that was a fantastic ref game. But yeah, I heard the reffing in Trackety on Sunday night was rough. Reffing in Bucktouche was rough. But yeah, the JCs win. JCs finish in first place. Congratulations to them. I think that's a big accomplishment for a team to go from the bottom to the top. They literally finished last year.
Yep.
Completely turned that team around this year. Attendance turned around. That was a huge crowd. Biggest crowd of the year for the JCs yesterday. Deservedly.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good game. I went down to do the interviews, and I told Jeanette, if you guys win, I'll interview you. And she's like, all right, perfect. And Corey was like, try and get Parenteau and Coach.
Salvis,
yeah. Coach Salvis. And Corey messaged me later that night, and he's like, man, that Parenteau interview is one of our best.
It was a good one.
And my reaction was, I don't remember what I told him. I don't remember what he said. I'm not really good at interviews. I have a script in my head, if you notice. Like, whatever I ask in one interview, I'm going to ask the same thing in the second, because that's what I remember. But I zone out. So I went back, and him talking about his son watching it. I get what Corey was talking about there.
That's a good interview. It's a good interview. And it kind of puts into perspective why he's here playing this year and why he's, playing. He's playing hard. He's taking hits. He's giving hits. He's not just laying it in there for a guy who had the NHL career that he had. So I respect that. Whether you like it or not, I know a lot of people are definitely not fans of the NHL guys being in the league. It puts some eyes on the league, and it puts some eyes on the JCs. So, for better, for worse, whatever your opinion is, I'm going to stay neutral on it. But I think,
I'm not going to name some names, but there are fans right now that complain about the NHLers that at the beginning of the season, it's people from Miramichi, people from Rishibuktu, people from the Peninsula, people from Amherst that came to Buck-Touche games and came and talked to us and well, oh, you're a fan of this team. Yeah, I came to see the NHLers. So, it drew attendances there.
It's a draw.
It's one of those things you can complain that it's not like they did anything against the law.
I would even argue that the reason the JCs had the season they had was not entirely because of the NHLers.
I agree with you 100%.
I think you take a guy like Collette away, or you take a guy like Timmins away, or even Matt Newcomb as far as that goes, Malcolm Arsenault. You take some of those guys away, and the team's hurting just as much as if you take Padon Torquay away.
Absolutely,
so,
I
agree. For better, for worse, we're here. This has been one of the best seasons that I've seen in senior hockey. It's been pretty wild, and we're getting ready to start the playoffs. Corey, what are the matchups?
The matchups are the LC Puck Duck Hawks will take on La Corsaire de la Péninsule Acadienne, and the Miramichi Northmen will take on the Amherst Ducks.
Got to keep an eye on our Facebook page. We don't have the dates yet for the Miramichi Amherst series. I know LC Puck Ducks' first home game is going to be Friday, 8 p.m. at the Kent North, and then they're playing Sunday, I believe it's 7 o'clock in Shippagan. So that's what we know for sure for that series. The other series, I've heard Friday in Miramichi, but I've also heard that they might not be able to get the ice, and it might be Saturday in Miramichi. So keep your eyes on our Facebook page. Keep your eyes on the official Beausejour Senior Hockey League website. Those can be the two best places to find out updates. But once we know officially, we don't like to share things until it's official. So once we know for sure when the game is, we'll make a post and we'll share that. But for now, know that you will see game 1 and 2 in both series this weekend.
Yeah. Do we do predictions?
I think we might talk about that on Thursday. I'm not sure if I feel up to it right now. I was playing around, and there's a website called coolbet.com that started to do predictions, or started to do lines for senior hockey. So you can actually go there and bet senior hockey, which is, I don't know, I've never seen that before, but I find that kind of cool. So I've been throwing some bets down there every now and then, and it's pretty hard later in the year for who's going to win it. Early in the year, I was like, this is easy. This is easy money. Later in the year, it's not easy money anymore. Everybody's pretty glued. But, they've got picks every weekend for the playoffs and things like that. So if you're a guy who likes to bet, you can't do it on ALC.ca, but you can do it on CoolBet. So go check out CoolBet. They've got some pretty cool stuff. Kind of got turned on to them earlier this year, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if I want to make predictions. What do you think of each series, Corey? Which one are you more excited to see, and why?
Miramichi versus the Ducks.
Why?
I love Miramichi. I think Miramichi has a great chance of winning.
Or just this series?
Everything. I think every team has a chance. Whether
everything, they might win a meat pie, they might win the lottery, they might win the league. Who knows?
I think Miramichi has a great chance of winning this series.
Yeah,
but I think the Ducks also have a chance of being the Lumberjacks of the 2025 season. The Ducks have a chance here to become the story in the BSHL. If they make a deep playoff run, like the story of the playoffs last year was the Lumberjacks. The story ended up being Dalhousie winning the cup. Deservedly so. They were the best team in the league. But that Cinderella run that the Lumberjacks had was incredible. And I think if there's one team that could repeat that, it is the Amherst Ducks.
If Miramichi wins the series, what do they need from their team? Who's going to be the reason or the reasons that team wins the series?
I think it's a combination of all three positions. I think Vautour needs to be playing the best hockey that he's ever played.
Yeah.
I think the goal scorers like Bryce Milson needs to put up a few points a night. And I think the defense needs to just be there for Vautour.
Yeah. I think pinch in when you can, but play good defensively. I even think there's a place for those third, fourth lines, the Dunfields, guys like that, Brennan's throwing the hits and being intimidating, playing that Miramichi style of hockey.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a need for depth because the Ducks are a fast team. So they're gonna grind you down. Now I'll ask the other question. For the Ducks to be successful in this series, what do they need?
Much the same. I think if Matt Welsh plays like Matt Welsh, I think that's going to inspire the team. And if they can get a couple one in, I think Matt Welsh can just shut the door and steal a game right there. You have to look at the young core that this team does have. Very young core. They got some veterans too. The veterans will be there to help out the young guys. But I think it's in net. I think if Matt Welsh can be Matt Welsh, not only do I think they can win this series, I think they can win another series, and I think they could win a cup.
I'll start by saying the story of the series for me is this is the third year in a row that in the first round, the Miramichi Northmen have played the Nova Scotia team, whether that be the Spring Hill Coal Miners or now the Amherst Ducks. At the end of the day, it's the same team that was carried over. It's a very different team this year, both jerseys and the way that the team's been managed. And just the players. The players are much different. But very interesting story to me that it's the third year in a row. For me, for the Ducks to win, I mean, I think Welsh is a part of the story. I think guys have to commit and play on the road. I think that's something we've seen the Ducks struggle with this year. Hopefully they get that extra commitment in the playoffs, because when they have a full roster at home, they're a different team. The third thing that I'm going to mention that I haven't talked about anywhere, not to you privately or to anybody, Jeremiah Martin and Julien Bao are two former Miramichi Northmen. I don't think it's going to be hard to convince those two guys to wake up and play against the Northmen on Friday or Saturday, whenever that game is. You're going to Miramichi, you're going to play for your old team, play against your old team. And Bear's a game changer.
He is.
We've seen that. We saw that against Puckduck. So, look for these guys to play some motivated hockey. I think Jaden Matheson's played a hell of a rookie year, underrated. He's not putting up a ton of points. He's not doing a ton of anything. It's everything that he's doing, in my opinion. It's not that he's the best defenseman in the world. It's not that he's the best offensive defenseman. It's that he's a damn good defenseman. He's the kind of guy you want on your team. I really look at him and I see some guys like the Dan LeBlancs in Bucktouche, those guys that are going to pinch in for a goal when you need it. They're going to play great D. I've got a lot of respect for Matheson. He's been a pretty impressive rookie. I think they've got a solid D core led by Parker Dean. And up front, man, there's some depth there. You look at the Lance-Liv brothers. You've got Spears, Reed Voss, Rene George, Hébert. No lack of talent. It's going to be a tough one to predict. I think the Ducks, though, I agree with you. They have a chance.
Are you going to make a prediction, though?
We'll see on Thursday.
Okay. Let's go to the other series.
Perfect.
Same thing. What do the Hawks and the Peninsula need to do?
The Peninsula, I don't know what's gone wrong in the Peninsula this year. When you look at the lineup on paper, all the talent in the world, the guys they picked up, the Kelsey Tessiers, Benji Curtis. I'd pick Benji Curtis, one of my top picks in this league, period. He's a guy who can lead the team, plays physical, can score some goals, has lots of talent, good locker room guy. I don't know. Benji Curtis, you could bring in Brady Patterson. You've got that core of guys from the Peninsula. I don't know where it went wrong, what happened, why they're at the bottom of the standings. I feel like they should have finished higher. It just hasn't clicked. I feel like it's a chemistry thing.
Yep.
For them, they've got to start clicking, finding each other, making better passes, skating harder. And Miramichi definitely saw the guys not skating hard, kind of dragging their feet a little bit. Gonna have to see them commit and really push here because they're facing an Elspethtuck Hawks team that has 3 good scoring lines and, a really good defensive core and last year's goalie of the playoffs.
Yep.
So it's not an easy feat. I think the Peninsula's got to figure their shit out this week.
Yeah.
Not to be rude, but figure your shit out because if you come out of this weekend with 2 losses, you're probably not going to make it into the second round. They've got to split this weekend with the Hawks and hope for the best. If Amherst can win in Miramichi and come out of this weekend 2-0, man, that's a story in and of itself.
That's a story in itself.
But for the Peninsula, you just got to hope to win 1.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. When it comes to the Peninsula, if it is an early exit for the Peninsula, I think that's another story of the year because you're looking at the once great dynasty that was in the Peninsula with the Alpine and the Shippigan Marchman.
Marchand.
And Marchman. I'm English. Marchand. You just look at what they used to have, and the last few years, it just wasn't there. And, you got to call it like you see it. They have 5 wins all year. Yeah, you say, oh, well, overtime losses. They have 5 wins all year. That's almost unacceptable to the Peninsula. They love their hockey. They're facing a Hawks team that I am pegging as possibly a finalist. What they need to do, you've heard the saying, it's better to be lucky than good. And with this one, I think it would be better to be lucky than good. Lucky bounces. I don't see a good ending for them. You look at the Hawks. If Ryu can be the Ryu of last year, I don't see any team beating the Hawks. The depth that they have, that Doketown line, I don't know.
I think you're not wrong. I think the biggest thing the Hawks have is their depth. Add in a goalie like Ryu, and you just don't know what they could do. I will say that we're seeing a lot of fans on Facebook kind of mocking the Corsairs or saying, I haven't been to any games this year because they won't support the Corsair. I don't know. I'd encourage everybody to get out, support the team in the playoffs here. You want to see them do well.
Yeah.
But it's been hard to watch from the outside looking in. I feel for a lot of those players, a lot of those guys who've been very generous and good to us.
Yeah.
So it's hard to not feel for them, but they're in for a tough one with the Hawks. I think that's going to be that's a tough draw.
Yeah. A lot of people a few years ago had Toronto going to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
And they said Montreal, it's an easy buy right there. And Montreal won. Could the Peninsula be the Montreal Canadiens of this season?
I don't think they have the goaltending to do it. No offense, but I just think the goaltending's been too shaky, or the defense has been too shaky in front of the goaltenders. Could they do it? Sure, anything can happen. Do I think that it could do it? If there's an upset in this first round, I think it's in the other series. I don't know. Would I mind if the Cossau get a win here? No, I think that would be a great story. It would be an interesting thing to talk about on the podcast.
Absolutely.
They're in tough. If you're a player for the Cossau and you're listening to this, prove me wrong. I'm fine with that. I'm open to it. But I think given, what did you say, they had 5 wins this season?
5 wins.
So now you're going to tell me you got to go win 3 games out of 5. You won 5 games out of 20. Now you got to win 3 out of 5 against one of the best teams in the league who've been rolling. They lost 2 games against the Ducks. Only 1 game where they actually had a good roster. The second game, I think they were pretty short. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. No offense to anybody, but
no, it's going to be tough. And I don't know. It's you can tell that the Peninsula want to win.
Yeah.
That game in Miramichi, I forget which player it was. He starts banging his stick and he gets ejected from the game. You're talking about a team that was used to winning, not just winning, but winning the cup. Like, how many cups did Charles Austin say they won? Was it 13 or something like that?
Some ridiculous number.
Some ridiculous number that they had in 20-year span, a 15-year span, whatever it was. It happens to the best hockey clubs. And now you've merged two hockey clubs that had detested each other a year ago. Does that have a lot to do with it?
I don't know, man. It's got to be tough.
Yeah, so I don't know. The Corsair win or lose, there's no draw here. It's still an interesting story no matter what. Because if they do end up falling short to the Hawks, the question is not what went wrong, but what went right. Because it wasn't a good season. It really wasn't. The bright spot for me is Luke Williams. He multiple goals this season and was in top in goal scoring for weeks. But, Tommy Bezzo, same thing, was one of the D's.
Solid defenseman. But other than that, there's just something that never, I think you hit it right on the button there. It's chemistry. They just didn't click. Got to go back to the drawing board, I think, for the Peninsula and, get out of this series and decide what happens next year. I don't know. I think there could be a lot of changes coming to this league. A lot of changes also coming maybe to the Peninsula, but hopefully they have a good run here in the first round. And I don't know. I'm hoping to see the Peninsula in 2.5 weeks. I'd be super happy if this went 5. I think it could be an interesting series. I just think the Peninsula's got to dig deep.
Yeah, I agree.
Players of the week this week, Corey?
Players of the week, we have on forwards, Bryce Milson, 5 points in 2 games. Grant Donovan with 6 points in 2 games.
What a weekend.
Yeah. And Matthew Newcomb with 3 points in 1 game. On D, John Hardy with 3 in 2. Malcolm Arsenault with 4 assists in 1 game. And our goalie of the week is Matt Welsh. He allowed the least goals.
I think I've heard that he played really, really well that game too.
Yeah.
Mama Podcast and Cheryl were there and they were talking about it. And then we were talking with Rod yesterday in Bucktush.
Yeah.
And he kind of mentioned the same thing that, Welsh looked really good again, how great he is as a goalie. So I think that's got anything else this week, Corey? Or
Well, the season ends with we're going to go into the goals leaders and points leaders, and we'll finish with that.
Sure.
So the season will end with our goals leader at 14 in Seoul. He's the sole owner of that, Logan Timmons with 14.
Impressive.
Our points leader with 33 points by himself, Pascal Valcourt. One last time for this season, Pascal Valcourt, he's good at
hockey.
There you go. One of the best.
He's good at putting vinegar on a poutine.
And he's a genius for that. I'll tell you that. Like, I eat a poutine. Like, I couldn't find the vinegar in Bucktush yesterday.
It's more of a northern New Brunswick thing than it is a southern New Brunswick thing.
I was disappointed. I'll tell you that. The poutine was still good. Needed vinegar. D points leader with 20 points, Tommy Bezzo. He had a good weekend for himself. And goalie wins, Alex Collette with 12 wins. You want to hear a funny stat here?
Go for it.
Alex Collette, 12 wins. Bucktush JCs, 14 wins.
Okay.
Dalhousie, 11 wins. Elsie Puckduck, 11 wins. Miramichi, there you go. Miramichi, 10 wins. Amherst, 9 wins. Peninsula, 5 wins. Collette has more wins than the other teams do.
Collette as a goalie has more wins than any other team.
I'm going to say this. If you don't want me saying this, edit it out. Why is Alex Collette not in MVP? Why is he not on the list in MVP? He has more wins than the other teams. And this is not me as a fan of the JCs. I don't cheer for any team. But that seems just ludicrous to me.
All right. Well, since you got into it, I guess we're going to get into the awards and we'll talk about them. You're a little heated about it, Corey.
A little bit. I'm fine.
You gotta calm down a little bit now. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna be calm.
It's low blood sugar.
It's low blood sugar, blood pressure.
I prefer low blood.
Low blood sugar. Rookie of the year: Will Irvine, Reed Voss, Brody MacArthur. I know who my rookie of the year is. We'll be announcing that. I think the podcast crew is in agreement on who rookie of the year is this year. That'll come out in the next couple days. Top goaltender. I actually agree with this one too. Alex Collette, Matt Welsh, Dan Vautour. Those are your finalists. I think that's great. Some honorable mentions for the other goalies in the league. Matthias Savoie got mentioned for Dalhousie. He went 5-2, I believe, or 5-1. Hell of a year. 5-2. Great year for Savoie. Good year also for LeMay, but Savoie's really looked quite good. Top forward finalists: Bryce Milson, Pascal Valcourt, Logan Timmins. I think that's probably the right picks there for me. Alex Arsenault could have been there. Luke Williams could have been there. It's tough, but that's a good 3.
Yep. Top
defenseman: Parker Dean, Danny Crate, Francis Thibault. Other finalists include Tommy Bezos and Alex Bernier. I think those are some good defensemen in this league. You can make an argument for John Hardy as well, but I can settle with those ones. Most valuable player I really struggle with. I agree with you. I think you already mentioned Alex Collette. The league has Patrice Cormier, Alex Arsenault, and Matt Welsh. Who do you have in your MVP nominees?
There's 2, in my opinion, Collette and Pascal Valcourt. Points leader, and like I said, Collette has more wins than the other teams do. So, my opinion.
I agree with you. I think Valcourt got snubbed here pretty hard. I think he would have deserved it. They did put Robert Pelletier in there. I think Pelletier definitely deserves it as well, but it's hard to... I don't know. You're the top point leader in the league for the second year in a row. I think Valcourt was top point leader last year too. I think he's the most valuable player in the league, most valuable player on his team for sure. I don't think very many Dalhousie fans would disagree with me there. He's a heart and soul guy for the Marauders. But you really strongly feel about Alex Collette, eh?
Both Collette and Valcourt. And people might say, oh, well, it's because you're a fan of that. I like everybody in the league. I've told everybody that 1,000 times, and I'll do it 1,000 more.
You're Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, it's not just about points and goals and wins and all that, but they have to make a factor. All right. Luke Williams isn't even in the honorable mentions. Without Luke Williams, a lot of these games, like I remember that game their first game against the Hawks. How many goals did he have that game? Like 4?
Yeah, 4 goals, something like that. Like,
without that.
Beast of a year.
So, Alex Arsenault, I'm okay with that because he did win a lot of games for the Hawks.
100%.
Matt Welsh stole some games for the Ducks. I think if you're going to have a goalie in the MVP, though, it has to go to Collette. Just the fact that he has 12 wins, which is 1 more than Dalhousie and Elsie, 2 more than Miramichi, 3 more than the Ducks, and
7 more than
the Peninsula. It's just I think there are stats in this league this year that really just went unnoticed.
Well, I don't disagree with you. On that note, we'll end the podcast here before Corey's blood pressure gets too high and we have to get him like some vinegar and poutine to calm him down. It's not good. Can't believe you couldn't find any vinegar for your poutine and buckdush.
I know.
Terrible. If the JK is listening, get some vinegar.
There you go. If I have to bring my own vinegar next time,
you'll smell really weird.
I already smell pretty weird,
We'll call you Vinegar Ass Vautour.
Yep, Vinegar Ass Vautour.
That's got a ring to it.
It's got a ring to it. It's going to go well with Anvil and Maritime Warrior and
Maritime Warrior, your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Anybody that hasn't checked it out yet.
The Maritime Warrior.
You've got a good series coming out now on the history of maritime wrestling that I'm really enjoying. So if you got any interest in maritime wrestling, I highly recommend you check it out. Corey knows more about wrestling. Corey's forgotten more about wrestling than I know about almost anything. So thanks for being here, Vautour.
Thank you for having me, Roby Show.
We'll be back Thursday. See you soon.
Take care.
All right. Corey from the podcast. I'm here with Doug White, GM, coach, God knows which are, Mirror Northman, a little bit of everything, owner. Feels like just yesterday we were talking preseason, the LBA, and here we are, playoffs a week away. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Big game, big win for us tonight. We had some injury trouble, and we're getting healthy. We got everybody back now. We're still missing one guy. Hopefully he's coming back next week. Looking forward to getting the playoffs started.
You guys are finishing 4th place officially after this game. You're facing the Ducks. 3rd year in a row you guys face that Nova Scotia team. How you feeling?
Well, the last year we had good luck against them. We beat them straight, but they got a hell of a goalie down there. So, and they have a good team, and they've been hot lately. So we're not going to take them lightly. We have home ice advantage. Hopefully we can make it an advantage for us, and it's the goalie. We got to beat the goalie. So,
talking about injuries and guys coming back. Dan Poirier back tonight for his first game back. Talk to me about the importance of a guy like that, a leader like that on the ice.
Dan's a veteran, and he's a big leader on the ice. He's a big leader in the dressing room. He was out for a few months, and he looked good out on the ice coming back for his first game. So we're glad to have him back, get him one more game now on Sunday, and go into playoffs. So happy to have him back.
Awesome. See you next weekend, Dougie.
Yep. See you later.
All right, Corey from the podcast. I'm here with multiple-time Defensive Player of the Week from the podcast, John Hardy. John, 2 goals tonight. Hell of a game by you. How do you feel?
You know what? I'm a little under the weather. It's been one of those illnesses that's been going around, but actually felt half decent on there, and I actually have to give credit to that first goal. It was Irvine's. I was sitting on the bench, but they announced my name. But, you know, if you want to say I got it, I'll take it, but it's really honestly William Irvine's.
That's what we said on the we were down the other end, but, you know, they'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. What are you going to do? Injuries this year for the team, but everybody seems to be back. Poirier's back. How's it feel to have a veteran like Poirier back here tonight?
Oh, it's great. You know, we're hoping to get him back before playoffs, and getting a game in tonight just to make sure we use up to speed and get the rust off. And he looked like he never missed a step out there. And I think one of our strengths is the depth on the D-core, and I think we've showed that tonight.
I agree with you. Guys have a fantastic D, maybe the best in the league. Now, heading into the playoffs, you guys are facing the Amherst Ducks in the first round. You're officially the 4th place Mirror Machine Northman. This is the 3rd year in a row. I know you weren't a Northman the last 2 years, but a little rivalry there. Tell me about the Ducks and how you feel getting ready to head off to Amherst next weekend.
It's been an odd season series against them. I think only one game both team had full rosters. So, you know what, anything can happen, but, we're ready for it, and, we're not, we'll be ready for it. And I think it'll be a good series, but we're not intimidated or anything, so.
Thanks for your time, John. I appreciate you a lot, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for what you do.
I'm here with Coach Ryan Salvis of the Bucktooth JCs. You guys went undefeated at home all season, clinched 1st place in the BSHL. How important was it to finish 1st overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the goal at the start of the season. Kind of the first phase of our goals was to wrap up regular season in 1st place. To go through the regular season, like you said, undefeated at home, 10-0 is very good. It shows that we've got a great crowd here, fantastic fans, and our boys get up when we got over 1,000 fans coming to the home games. It's a little bit easier for our guys to step up for big games. So they did a good job, and now it's time to get prepped for whoever our opponent is in round 1.
You guys have a little time off before the 2nd round. How does the team prepare for the playoffs?
Well, at this point, we got a couple guys that are a little banged up, so it'll give a few of our players a good opportunity to kind of rest up and rest the bodies a little bit, get ready for when playoffs do start for us. We'll look at scheduling a few practices. The main thing is just guys take care of their bodies over the next couple weeks. Make sure that they know that we do have still got a lot of work to do, and then we'll like I said, we'll get some practices in, and hopefully game 1 when we're playing we're good to go.
All right, congratulations on the win. Best of luck in the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm here with JC's forward, Pierre-Alexandre Parenteau. The JCs went undefeated at home. You clinched first in the BSHL. How important was it to finish first overall in the BSHL?
I think it was pretty important. We've been battling the whole year. We got a pretty fun group of guys, pretty unique chemistry. So, we're pretty pumped. We kind of wanted it tonight. We want to make sure we have home ice advantage for the playoffs too. So, the guys are excited, but that's only half the battle for us.
How does one prepare for the playoffs? You guys are a couple weeks away, but how do you prepare for that?
I mean, we're going to have some practices trying to keep the group together. I mean, it's not easy in senior hockey to keep the group together and keep your legs going for that long, but we'll figure out a way and we'll be ready when the puck drops in 16.
You've had an entire season with the JCs. How has this experience been?
It's been really fun, I've been retired for over 6 years, and I never thought I'd play hockey again. So it was fun. The group of guys, everyone made it super special for me, and I'm glad I did it. Like my son gets to see me play hockey as well, so I don't regret it one bit, and I'm having a hell of a time.
You've played a hell of a game tonight. Finished first overall, undefeated at home. Congratulations and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you. I'm here with GM of the Bucktooth JCs, Ginette Douaron. Finished first overall in the BSHL, undefeated at home. First question, how important was it to finish first overall?
It's very important to finish first because when you finish first, we get to have home advantage. Like you just said, we've been undefeated at home, which gives us home advantage ice. So it's going to play a crucial role into our playoff series.
A packed barn tonight. There's nothing like playoff hockeys, and we're a week away. How does the team prepare for this?
The team is because we get a bye, we're going to do a lot of practicing to get ready. Momentum is really high right now, so that's the biggest start that we can do to get ready because, the momentum is there. We're first place, undefeated, and we want to win, so let's keep it going.
Alex Collette has been the backbone of the JCs. Him staying healthy, he looks healthy. How important is it for him to just be on his A game?
Well, I call him Alex the Wall Collette. He's one of the best goalie of the league. I mean, there's a few goalies this year that are pretty good also, but in my opinion, he's still the best goalie of the league. It's very important for us. He could be MVP every game. He's a crucial part of the team in every winning piece. So, I mean, it's very important for us, and he's still healthy. He's staying healthy. He's even started a new diet, so he's all good to go for the playoffs.
The fan support has been unbelievable this year. Do you have any final words for the Bucktooth JC fans?
I just want to send a heartfelt thank you to all our fans. I mean, the crowd was amazing tonight. They were engaging. It was unbelievable. It surely played a role into the team as energy. So I just want to thank them. We have the most amazing fans. They support us through everything, and I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart.
Big win tonight, undefeated at home. Congratulations on this win, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Thank you.